Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Canada has taken a big step forward in the vaccine deployment. Health Canada has approved the AstraZeneca vaccine for use in the country. The latest vaccine is the third to be approved in Canada. Research has shown it offers good protection against the UK variant of COVID-19. The World Health Organization has also endorsed its efficacy against the South African variant. And unlike the Pfizer vaccine, it can be stored in normal refrigeration. Canada has already signed a deal for 20 million doses. There are 153 new cases of COVID-19 in Saskatchewan. 11 of those are in the Northwest Zone. One is in the immediate Lloydminster area, where we have 34 active cases. 1,510 cases are considered active province-wide. 155 people are in hospital, with 12 in the Northwest, including 2 in intensive care in our zone. More than 6,200 vaccine doses have been administered in the Northwest. Just over 1,500 people have had both doses, and close to 69,500 doses have been given province-wide. An Ontario-based company is proposing a new independent seniors living facility in Lloydminster after securing 15 acres of land at 72 Avenue and 29th Street. Eric Bay has more on the proposed development.
A study conducted by Nautical Lands Group, which will be developing the land, found that 338 seniors living units were currently needed in the city, and that number would increase to 560 in the next 9 years. The group plans to build an independent seniors living facility, complete with a clubhouse and gym on the premises. City Council is excited about the proposal.
It's just a tremendous boost to our community. We've been looking for one for a while, and I hope there's more to come in the near future. But we're great to see it come forward to council today for the information and get it out in the community, because certainly an investment of 338 new homes in our community in the future is a great investment.
The development would provide rental townhomes and bungalows to adults aged 55 and older, which council believes diversifies senior living in Lloydminster.
Not only is this going to be fulfilling a need within the immediate future, but I think for years to come as the city grows, that's an ongoing demand. And what better industry to have growth in is taking care of seniors in our community. We hear constantly, certainly through conversations we have at our Pioneer Lodge, where people still want to live independently, they want to be close to their families, and this gives them that opportunity.
Nautical Lands Group hopes to break ground this spring, but council will have to approve rezoning before construction can begin.
It's already been brought to GPC, so we have an idea of what's got to be done, but it's now going through the series of meetings to get through the bylaws.
This would be the second Alberta facility for Nautical Lands Group after construction on a seniors living space in Calgary began last year. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
Residents and recovery in the Lloydminster Interval Home are set to receive some major funding from the Alberta government. To talk about the grant, Tate Laycraft sat down with MLA Garth Rosewell.
Just a few days ago, it was announced that Residents in Recovery was approved for Phase 3 of Alberta's Community Grant Funding Program, meaning the organization is set to receive an additional $40,000. To talk about the grant, I'm joined by Lloydminster Vermilion Wainwright MLA Garth Rosewell. Thanks so much for joining me, Garth.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So before we dive in, I just wanted to open things on more of a personal note and ask about your personal experience with loved ones or friends that have struggled with addiction and the way that it's maybe impacted you or your family, their loved ones. It's just something that so many people are impacted by. I thought it would be nice to open up on a personal note.
Yeah, it's not my direct family, but I've had cousins and stuff who have actually passed away from overdoses and some mental issues. I guess you go deep enough into anyone's family, it's there, and just people I know that it really impacts their life. Like it's an addicted family member disrupts the entire family, and it's a hardship. So it's a serious problem.
And over the last year, substance abuse has seen a bit of a spike with the pandemic. I was just wondering if you could speak to the times we're living in and maybe how it's placed emphasis on the need for organizations or programs like Residents in Recovery.
Well, I think it's with the restrictions that we have on ourselves, it's I feel it myself. Like I haven't seen my my kids in a long time. And I know my daughter wants to come and visit us. Well, we got a fire pit in the back, and we're gonna go out there and throw some logs on there and meet outside is the plan. So it, and we can do that. But but I even at Christmas time, my typical tradition was to go around and see brothers and sisters, and it's my one time in the year to go do it, and I couldn't do it, and I missed it, and it weighs on you, and I can see how a person might say, I'll just sit here and have a drink or whatever, and it might form a habit that might turn into something that's bad. So, that's my, I think the pandemic lends itself to these problems developing.
And talking about these kinds of support options, it's not typically out of the question for those who are struggling with these issues to have to go to a major city to seek the help that they need. Do you think that part of the goal with grants like this is to help establish more support in the Lakeland area?
Yeah, Lloydminster truly is a regional place for some of this. Like even the interval home, for example. I was talking to a council in my area, and I asked, well, do you guys have an interval home? And they said, no, we just give them a fare for a cab and we send them to Lloydminster. So exactly what you're talking about is kind of Lloydminster has that. So that's where our investments, either through the Thorpe Recovery Center or or Residents Recovery, have focused in on Lloydminster, because it seems to be a regional hub, like you say.
And before we go, is there anything else that you'd like to communicate to the masses?
Yeah, no, I just think Residents Recovery does a great job. They really stretch a dollar out and make it. You get every value that you can get out of every dollar. And I understand they've gotten a fair amount of money from Colleen Young and her government in Saskatchewan as well. So good for them. I know they were struggling for money, and between the two governments, hopefully we give them enough to get along down the road and maybe get back into a position where they can get contributions from the community at large. So it's a worthwhile project. They do a great job, and I love to support them.
Thanks so much for your time, Garth.
Now our Jace Mackey will take a first look at your weather forecast.
Thanks a lot, Jasmine. As we take a look at current conditions here in Lloydminster, we're currently sitting at -14, but the wind's coming in at 21 kilometers an hour, making things feel a little more like -23. Definitely when I was outside today, it looked a lot nicer than it was. Once you're out a little bit longer, it did start to feel pretty cold with that wind chill. Looking right now at temperatures across central Alberta, we're going to see -16 right now in Cold Lake, Athabasca, and in Edmonton, -10 in Whitecourt and Edson. -6 out in Jasper, -8 in Rocky Mountain House, and Red Deer is sitting at -12. Taking a look now into central Saskatchewan, we see -17 is the temperature in Meadow Lake, -15 in Prince Albert. Here in Lloydminster, we're sitting at -14. Same with North Battleford, as well as Saskatoon and Melfort sitting at -20. As we take a look now at North Battleford, currently they're sitting at -14 overnight tonight. We're going to be seeing some cloud coverage. There's also a 30% chance we may be seeing some light flurries overnight tonight in North Battleford. They're going to be seeing at -20 overnight, and things will warm up to -13 for your Saturday in North Battleford. In Cold Lake, we're going to be seeing similar conditions overnight. We'll see -20. There is also a chance we will be seeing some light flurries up in Cold Lake. Things will warm tomorrow for -11 for the daytime high tomorrow, and it'll be partly cloudy, partly sunny in Cold Lake. Here in Lloydminster for your day tomorrow, we're going to be seeing pretty similar temperatures. Like I mentioned in the other two, in Cold Lake and North Battleford, there's a chance we'll be seeing some light flurries overnight tonight. Same here in Lloydminster, very similar to what we saw last night. So the type we'll be seeing close to around a centimeter or so. So we're going to be seeing -16 overnight here in Lloydminster, warming up to -15 for your day tomorrow. As we take a look now at the 3-day forecast for Lloydminster into your Saturday, you're going to see -11 for the high, -20 for the low. Into Sunday, there's a chance flurries. We'll be seeing -13 and -16 for the low. And on Monday, things will warm up to +3 for the high and -15 for the low. That's your first look at weather. We'll have more news after the break.
Welcome back. Taking place this weekend is the widely known 20-hour annual telethon, Telemiracle 45, that will be broadcasting live in Saskatchewan and here on CITL. Our Shelby Clark chatted with one of the performers from this year's national cast lineup for more.
Joining us for Primetime Local News is singer, songwriter, and pianist Jeffrey Straker. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very good. So you are a part of Telemiracle 45's national cast. How many years have you been a part of this big event now?
This is my 10th year.
Wow, look at you go.
I feel ancient.
And can you tell us more about what you'll be exactly doing for Telemiracle, or is that kind of a surprise?
No, like just like previous years, although we're obviously in a bit of a different year this year with this pesky pandemic, but I'm a host on the show, trying to keep as one of the people helping to keep it going for 20 hours. And I'm also going to perform some songs. But yeah, it's a mixture of hosting and performing, interviewing people who are bringing donations, who've raised some funds, and trying to keep the excitement up to have people donate their hard-earned cash over 20 hours.
And were you expecting to see at all with how much support has been shown for Telemiracle 45 this year, even through COVID-19?
Yes. So there's the short answer. Yes. But it's like, how delightful is this that, because there was an obvious worry, which was like, oh gosh, what is Telemiracle in a pandemic? Like what will that look like? How will donations appear? It seems so far like people are being really generous. Like there's a 50-50 draw, a digital 50-50 draw that's been set up. And it's at $500,000. So no one can believe it, So I hope that's a harbinger, like a sign of things to come for the broadcast. But we'll see. I'm not going to count my chickens here, but it feels good.
And can you tell us more about how your personal experience was with preparing for Telemiracle this year?
It's been kind of the same, to be honest with you, like brushing up on the history and some of the facts and tidbits and some of the nice stats and hooks we throw at the viewers to try to get them to make a donation. Really, the big difference is what I'm going to see this afternoon when we go to the new set, which is a very different set than we've ever been on for the past 44 years. It's a different location, and because of all the COVID restrictions and safety precautions that are in place to make this thing happen with the SHA, there's no live audience. All the SAS talent and all the performances are pre-recorded. So we have to get used to that rhythm of the show. But I really think we're going to hit that rhythm pretty quick. And I really think it's going to be a really enjoyable viewing experience. Just the mechanics of it for us is a bit different,
And now with your music career, we know you perform over 100 shows per year across Canada and abroad. How have you adapted with this during the pandemic?
The answer to that ties into Telemiracle because, the first thing we had to do as live performers, like people who earn our living from live performances, we had to sort of pivot, to use that word, to go online and do streaming shows, right? Through last spring. Now, throughout last summer, I was very lucky being a solo singer pianist that I was able to perform in backyards across Saskatchewan and Alberta. And I did about 40 of those shows, actually. People were really generous to book me. But then come the fall, I started doing streaming shows again. So now here, like live streamed Facebook Live, YouTube Live shows. Here we are in Telemiracle, where essentially what we're doing, we're back on, we're streaming, like through TV or through technology. We're doing a 20-hour telethon streamed to people. So I'm kind of looking at this streaming that I've done in my personal music career, kind of as training for this telethon we're now about to do,
And would you be able to tell us a bit more about your newest album that you'll be releasing this year?
Yes, I can. So it's a 10-song roots folk record. To toot my own horn a little bit here, I just won the Roots Folk Artist of the Year award in the Saskatchewan Music Awards, and this music is part of that award. So it's a really personal song, story-driven songs, a mix of up-tempo songs and ballads. And there's I love the instrumentation we put behind the songs. There's banjo and acoustic guitar and mandolin and upright basses with me at a piano. And I'm going to release that record in May the 7th. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to do a virtual national tour of 6 or 7 shows where I'm partnering with theaters across the country, performing from Regina, but partnering with local theaters to bring it to the local audiences. So it's a new way of doing things, And then throughout the summer, I'm going to do a whole bunch of those backyard shows again, and they're booking like gangbusters. So I'm grateful for the support.
And now, is there anything else you'd like to add for residents to know about concerning Telemiracle?
Really, just with the Telemiracle, like, we've got 20 hours, just like we do any other year, for people to engage with us in the broadcast, remind themselves of the good that these donations do. All the money stays in Saskatchewan to help people access medically related travel or medical devices. It's helped so many people that probably the degrees of separation between a donor and a recipient is about 2 degrees of separation. It's people helping their neighbors. So if people can tune in with us, remind themselves of the good that a donation does, and give a donation, every dollar counts. And we would love to have their support.
Perfect. Well, from what I'm hearing from you already, Telemiracle seems like it's already getting lots of support this year from people, and it's really great to see, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jeffrey.
Thank you so much.
As COVID-19 continues to impact our lives, one local cafe is starting a new campaign in the hopes of bringing a little happiness to their customers. Becca Day has more.
I'm here with Sarah Verga from Timber Cafe to learn more about their new Heart on My Sleeve campaign. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So this is such a lovely initiative. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Sure. We were reflecting on the last year, 2020, that we've all been through. It's been almost a full year since we were hit with COVID. It's been difficult for everyone, difficult for our community, and we were trying to think of a way that we could bring a little light to the community, a little joy, a smile to someone's face. So we partnered with the local school divisions and talked to the principals and the teachers and provided them all with blank coffee sleeves. And the students from the schools colored them and displayed their artwork or their jokes, and they were allowed to be as fully creative as they wanted to be, with the intent of just putting a smile on someone else's face, someone from the community. So just a way to kind of connect people and bring a little joy.
Perfect. And I understand that this was kind of inspired by the earlier campaign back when the pandemic kind of started, where people were putting hearts up in their windows.
Yeah, exactly. So last March, the Hearts of Lloydminster campaign that happened, how people across the community were putting hearts in their windows, and it was just like such a sweet, pleasant, hopeful, sort of comforting thing that united us. And so we were sort of going for the same idea a year later.
Yeah, absolutely. So when will people be able to start picking up a drink with one of these sleeves on them?
Yeah, so starting March 1st, every hot to-go beverage is going to have a sleeve on it. Yeah, and they're all totally unique and different, and they've been so fun to look at. The artwork is absolutely amazing. We've got huge smiles on our faces already seeing them all. So I'm excited to see how they're received by our customers.
That's awesome. And I understand there's a bit of a social media element to this to get customers involved even more. Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Of course, since they're all one of a kind, we want to give everyone the opportunity to see all the artwork, and we want to see it ourselves as well. So if you tag Home Hardware Building Center or tag Timber Cafe and use the hashtag Heart on My Sleeve, then we'll be able to repost them and share them with everyone.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today, Sarah. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now here are your stock market prices for today.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
Last night, the Lloydminster Bobcats announced the team has been denied participation in the relaunch of the AJHL season. Evan Kenny has more on the situation of the team.
The last 7 days have been a roller coaster of emotions for the Lloydminster Bobcats. Last week, the AJHL announced the relaunch of their 2020-21 regular season. The Bobcats, like 14 other AJHL teams, were in the middle of their quarantine when the news came from the government of Saskatchewan.
everything this time was pointing towards the same direction of getting back in, and we obviously made multiple transactions and signing our young prospects there and preparing, and everything was set up, so we thought it was really good. And then it kind of just took a little bit of a swing the other way. I guess by a little bit was a lot, and they wanted to see different plans, wanted to have things that worked out different, and we tried everything we could on all fronts, and every way we could, and it just didn't meet the agreement that they wanted to see it.
The team has looked into other options, such as playing in Kitscoty like they did in the 2020 exhibition season with a series against the Sherwood Park Crusaders. They've also looked into a local bubble at Lakeland College. Both of these options have been shut down by the SHA.
So, go back to the Kitscoty or go to a community that's close, but it just wasn't able to happen. The bubble format, and we looked at options of that, whether it be the Bible camp or the college dormitories and all those, and kind of when we thought we were trending in the right way and getting things moving in the right way, it was kind of just we needed another step, and from the meal plans for the players to where they could go to and from, and then the other part was the travel from Lloydminster to the communities around Alberta.
For now, the players and coaching staff will stay in isolation, with Dubé adding the team is looking to work out every possible option and is hoping for a miracle to work. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now we're Jace Mackey. We'll take another look at your weather forecast.
Thanks a lot, Jasmine. As we take a look at your satellite and radar map right now, there isn't too much to see, but there is some pockets of flurries in the Green Lake and Meadow Lake area. But overnight tonight, there is a chance we're going to be seeing some light flurries here in Lloydminster and also in Cold Lake and North Battleford overnight tonight, and it may continue into your day tomorrow. As we take a look at current conditions right now across Alberta, we see -16 in Cold Lake, -15 in Bonnyville, -17 up in Lac La Biche. St. Paul's also sitting at -16, same with Marwayne. Edmonton's also at -16, as well as Vegreville. Vermilion sitting at -15. We see -14 down in Wainwright, and Provost is sitting at -13. As we take a look now into Saskatchewan, up in Alacrosse, we see -22 for the temperature right now, -16 in Pierceland, in Meadow Lake, and in St. Walburg, -17 up in Green Lake, -14 in Maidstone and North Battleford, and Macklin is sitting at -13. As we take a look at your day tomorrow, starting in Saskatchewan, up in Alacrosse can be -12, same with Green Lake and Meadow Lake and St. Walburg. -11 in Pierceland for your day tomorrow, same here in Lloydminster and in Maidstone. North Battleford is going to be sitting at -13 tomorrow and -9 in Macklin. So the day tomorrow is going to be a little more mild than it was today. Looking into Alberta, we see -11 across the board, so -11 in Cold Lake, Bonnyville, St. Paul, Marwayne, as well as here in Lloydminster. We see -10 in Lac La Biche, -6 tomorrow in Edmonton, -8 in Vegreville, and -10 in Vermilion and Wainwright, and -9 in Provost for your day tomorrow. As we take a look at national temperatures across the country, starting out west, we see Vancouver sitting at 8 degrees, -6 up in Whitehorse, -16 in Edmonton, -28 in Yellowknife, -4 in Regina, also -4 in Winnipeg. Looking at the eastern part of our country right now, we see 1 degrees out in Toronto, -8 in Quebec City, -5 in St. John's, and -8 in Halifax. As we look at Iqaluit sitting at -30, that's pretty chilly up there. Overnight tonight, conditions are going to be pretty chilly for us overnight tonight. There's a chance of flurries also in Wainwright, but starting in Meadow Lake, we're going to see -21 overnight tonight, -22 in Alacrosse, -21 in Pierceland. Bonnyville sitting at -19 overnight tonight, -20 in Paradise Hill, as well as Unity, -18 in Provost, -20 in Miriam. And looking at your 7-day forecast here in Lloydminster heading into your weekend, we're going to be seeing -11 on Saturday for the high, -13 for the high on Sunday with a chance of snow, and things warm up as we start your next week with 3 degrees on Monday and +1 on Tuesday and Wednesday, -1 for the high on Thursday, and wrap things up with Friday sitting at -1 and a partly cloudy day on Friday. That's a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news after the break.
Welcome back. We spoke with Canadian confidence expert and best-selling author on her advice for small business owners to take their business to the next step.
I'm joined here today with Natalie Plamondon-Thomas, and she is an 8-time #1 best-selling author. Now, you focus a lot on confidence and negative self-talk, so could you just give us some information into this topic?
So we all have negative self-talk. Like we talk to ourselves all the time. And the shocking fact is that research shows that 70% of our thoughts are negative. That's an average of 31 negative thoughts per minute. And now during the pandemic, it seems that this negative voice is actually louder than ever. But we don't talk to other people like that. Like you're not going to go and tell your friend, oh, you look fat in these jeans, or hey, what, you guys, you're starting a new business, it's never going to work, you're not good enough. So why do we trash talk ourselves like this? Like who would want to be your friend if you talk to them the same way you talk to yourself?
And what brought you to study these neurosciences?
So I'll take you back when I was just starting to speak professional about 12 years ago. I had just gotten a contract with an organization who wanted me to train their sales force. Now, the truth is, when I hung up the phone, I felt like a fraud. I remember sitting in my office, hearing this nasty voice in my head telling me, you're not a real professional speaker. You're going to mess that up. It's never going to work. And that's when I made the connection between my confidence and my own inner language. I realized that I needed to figure out a way to stop that negative self-talk. So I spent the last decade studying neuroscience. I created a system to change that voice inside my head. And that's the system I shared in my 8 international #1 best-selling books. That's the system that's at the base of all my online courses. And today I work with entrepreneurs who want to find confidence so that they can make money living from their passion.
And what would you say makes entrepreneurs kind of do the reverse of what they should be doing?
See, what happens is that we all have a personal assistant in our head taking notes and making sure that everything that we say or think gets done. But the problem is, people wake up in the morning, they look at themselves in the mirror and they go, I'm so tired. I'm so stressed out. I think I'm gaining weight. Right? So then the personal assistant writes it down. Tired, stressed out, gaining weight, got this. Okay, tired. What can I do? Oh, I know I'm going to keep her awake all night. She's not going to be able to sleep. So she's going to be really tired in the morning. Check. Stressed out. Oh, I know. I'm going to make her delete an important appointment in her calendar. That's going to be stressful. Check. Gaining weight. Oh, that's an easy one. I can certainly find a chocolate bar, something deep fried for her to eat today. And if all fails, more wine tonight. Check. So your personal assistant is just following your own request. So you have to be really careful what you tell your personal assistant. Entrepreneurs come to me all the time and they tell me, I don't want to be stressed anymore. I don't want to rush everywhere. I don't want to be impatient with my kids, and I don't want to be broke. So the brain hears stress, rush, impatient, and broke. So tell your personal assistant what you want, not what you don't want.
And what kind of tools do you offer for maybe small business owners to help them with their personal assistant and, change that negative self-talk they might have?
So you may have negative thoughts or bad habits that you want to get rid of. So I'm going to give you a simple 2-step technique that you can use when you hear a negative thought in your head. So let's say you hear yourself say something bad. So you repeat that negative thought in the past. For example, you hear yourself say, I'm so bad with technology, right? Entrepreneurs, we do that. We say that all the time. So catch yourself and say, wait a minute. What did I just say? I used to think that I was bad with technology. So your brain hears it, and then your personal assistant is asking, are we done with this? Like, why are we talking about this in the past? So immediately you follow up with step number 2, a progressive statement. A progressive statement starts with, I am willing to learn, or I'm in the process of. So I'm in the process of becoming good with Zoom. So I used to think that I was bad with technology. Now I'm willing to learn where it is that I have to click. One of my non-techie client was actually able to completely move her business to online, and she actually made quite a bit of money during the pandemic just by changing her mindset about being willing to learn how to feel confident with technology, right? So the truth is, we are all kind of good with technology, because technology is not like riding a bike. Technology changes all the time. And we have been showing that we've been able to adapt. We went from this to this to this to this to this. And all of a sudden there was no more keyboard. And every time that they make an update on our phone, we still figure out how to find the pictures of our dog wearing a bikini, right? So talk to your personal assistant and think yourself confident.
And with the pandemic right now and small business owners, what has been some of like the main advice that you've been telling them for them to kind of push through?
You got this. You have everything that you need inside. And most people don't trust themselves because there's so many powerful emotions in their prefrontal cortex that they go into prefrontal cortex overload. So what we need to do is we need to take a breather, step back and say, wait, I used to think that I was overwhelmed. Now I'm willing to learn how it is that I'm going to figure this out, and to trust yourself, because you got this. We are awesome. The brain is very, very powerful, and we can push through anything.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Natalie.
Thank you so much for having me, Jasmine.
Now we will be taking a look at your pet pad pictures. Thank you to everyone who submitted your pictures to our Facebook page throughout the week. And we will be giving away a pet pad gift card at the end of the next hour.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Well, joining us for the Friday Entertainment Panel is Abby St. John. Abby, Spider-Man 3 is probably one of the biggest movies heading into 2021 this coming Christmas. So new news finally emerged over the last couple of days here, where the cast, of course, likes to troll with the internet and kind of came up with these fake titles before we ultimately got the actual title of what the movie is going to be.
Yeah, it was very exciting. Tom Holland posted on Instagram a picture of him, Zendaya, and Jacob Batalon from the film. And then the next photo was the title of Spider-Man, which everyone thought it was the real title, called Spider-Man Phone Home. But then Zendaya and Jacob posted the same photo, but different Spider-Man titles. One Spider-Man Homewrecker and the other Spider-Man Home Slice. So like you said, they definitely did troll the internet with that. But then Tom Holland later posted a video of them, revealing that those names were fake. And as they were walking out, there was a whiteboard with a bunch of different name ideas. And in the center, blocked off, was Spider-Man No Way Home. So that is the official Spider-Man 3 title. As for what we can expect, it's still very up in the air. Tom Holland has stated that the rumors that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will be making their revival isn't true. He states that they haven't told him if they're in the film, and they filmed most of it, so he said it'd be kind of shocking if they kept that a secret from him. But he did say that the film is incredibly ambitious, and he's delighted to say that they're succeeding in making it. It's really well done. And he said that they watched a fight scene that they had shot a few weeks ago and had never seen a fight scene quite like it in the MCU. So he's very excited for audiences to see that. Now, the future of his Spider-Man is up in the air, as this is his last contractual Spider-Man film. But he did say that he would play the character again. So it's up in the air whether we'll see him after the third film, but I'm very excited for it to come out, and hopefully it doesn't get pushed or delayed and we get it in December.
I have a feeling they're just keeping that information from him so he just doesn't spoil it, because he does have a history of spoiling big things for Marvel. But one of the last things we want to talk about, Abby, Big Brother 9, Season 9 in Big Brother Canada is starting up this coming in a few weeks here, very shortly. And already there's some controversy with that, but there's a very diverse cast. So let's talk about that controversy that came earlier today, as well as just the diverse cast that is now going to be in the Big Brother house.
Yes, this is an extremely diverse cast. multiple peoples, persons of color, members of the LGBTQ plus community. This isn't your typical Big Brother cast, which is so important. In past years, even in the American, you get the same type of people, big muscular men, typically white, who are high on testosterone, and then you have the women who look the exact same. This season of Big Brother Canada is so diverse, and I think it's going to be very exciting to watch because it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same old Big Brother that we're used to, whether you watch the US or the Canadian version. Now, going off of what that controversy was, there was a cast member, when it was announced, it came to light that he had made in the past racist and homophobic comments. So Big Brother Canada decided to handle it, and they took to Twitter stating that he has been recast and that they do not support anything that he has said in the past, and they're not going to continue to support it. Show host and now executive producer stated that, this is, they want representation, especially now in today's society, and they want to showcase that this season and seasons to come. So I'm very excited to watch it. I'm a Big Brother fan, and so I'm very excited to see how this season goes with the diversity that they have, and I think it's going to be one of their best seasons yet.
I think I can agree on that. I don't watch a whole lot of it myself, but I know it's a pretty popular show in the country. I know my sister said a few times she's wanted to audition for that, but my mother very much shut that idea down. Of course, and it's going to be interesting to see too with how it's going with the COVID pandemic. Abby St. John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a quick look here at our 7-day forecast. Starting with your day tomorrow on Saturday, we're going to see a mostly sunny day with a high of -11 and a low of -20. On Sunday, we'll be seeing a chance of flurries and a high of -13, a low of -16. On Monday, we see a partly cloudy day, partly sunny as well, with a high of +3 and a low of -15. 1 degrees is the high on Tuesday and Wednesday, with lows of -6 and -9 respectively. Partly cloudy day on Thursday with a high of -1 and a low of -11. On Friday, we're going to see a +1 high and a -7 for the low on Friday. So temperatures through this weekend are going to be pretty chilly, but as we head into next week, we're going to be seeing some mild conditions here in Lloydminster.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great night.